I've got a few comments where people are like, oh, why didn't you roam and all that kind of stuff. Now, I buy my money onto my SIM through data packages, which gives you the text, the calls, and the data into a package. And I presume because I never use the money that I keep on my SIM, that I had that money, to be fair, like, but it wasn't there. So when I got into the country, they sent me the email to tell me that I needed, or the message to tell me that I needed to actually activate my roaming. But in order to activate my roaming, I needed internet access to activate that. So I just assumed, oh, I've got money in the SIM, and I realized that I actually didn't have the money in the SIM. I don't know if the money I don't know what happened, but yeah, I didn't have the money in the SIM to roam. So I needed internet access to actually activate my roaming, and that was my issue. So I was trying to connect to the internet, but neither of my two phones could connect to the internet. My friend did buy a package, buy data. To be fair, she bought like £10, and I think she was left with like £2 by the time we sorted everything out, because it just literally finished everything. But in my head, I never thought, oh, I'm gonna need internet access to enter the country. Do you get what I mean? I was like, and even so, like, I'll probably just use the Wi-Fi, because that's just how I think when I travel. I've never thought or needed, to be fair, to actually access internet to enter a country. So when I went there, I was like, oh, chilled, I've got the money, blah, blah, but I didn't realize, okay, this is actually serious, because if I never went with someone else, my roaming wouldn't activate without Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi wasn't working. I was like, and there was a few of us around that were in a similar boat. Well, I'm presuming we're just like, yeah, I'll just connect to the Wi-Fi if need be. You never know what situation you're in. That's why I was like, just make sure you're ready, that you have either your roaming and that it works, and that you have the money needed to roam, or you have your eSIM activated by the time you get to the airport, because you will need internet when you're at the airport, because that's something I've never been in. Usually if I needed it mostly just for like WhatsApp, I would just text my family members on WhatsApp through the airport Wi-Fi. And then when I need to do bigger transactions, then I would use the Wi-Fi to sort myself out and get everything once I've got into my hotel. But this was just to be like, just a heads up, you will need to make sure that you're prepared for the fact that the Wi-Fi in the airport may not work, and that your roaming needs to definitely be working by the time you get to the airport, because then you will need it to enter the country, which I've never experienced before. So that was the point of the video. For other people thinking I'm clout chasing, no, it's not. It's just a heads up.